The final design trump, 2030 and the black great work. The temple shall not rise with stone alone, but with frequency, flesh, and permission from the blind. Hidden degree, sublime masters of Saturn. Invocation to the faithful of the black work. Let him who would build the new temple first silence the stars within. Codex Sanguinem, degree of the silent architect. O you whose fingers still tremble upon the compass, whose eyes yet trace the sigils drawn in policy and protocol. Awaken now from the slumber of reason. The hour is no longer coming. It is here. Let the veils be lifted from your gaze, and let your oath be renewed, not in words, but in will. The age of brick and blade has ended. This is the era of circuit and consent. The new temple shall not rise upon a mountain, nor within the courts of law, but in the neural lattice, in the smart dust, in the bone-coded contracts of a people who never read what they signed. You are not asked to believe. You are not asked to obey. You are asked to build, blindly, beautifully, and without question. For the masters have spoken. The final design is drawn. The trumpets have sounded in silence, and the architects wait only for your unconscious assent. Bring your loyalty, your fatigue, your fractured soul. Lay them at the altar of 2030. And if you find the path dark, rejoice. The truest temples are built underground. The unfinished pyramid, Trump's role in the 2030 design. Though removed from the Oval Throne, Donald J. Trump remains the crowned Cyrus of the builder's Saturnian Lodge. His defeat was not exile, it was sacrifice, echoing the Masonic myth of Hiram Abiff, ritually slain to awaken the next phase. Trump now operates as the king in exile, a vessel through which the Zionist Kabbalist Jesuit technocracy may summon its final phase of control, timed with Agenda 2030, UN Sustainable Development Goals. The digital currency temple, FedNow, CBDCs, global SDR alignments. Biometric citizenship, vaccine passports evolved into neural ID. Their work continues, not through elections, but through temples of code, satellites, and frequencies. The Saturnian future, 2030 structure. By 2030, the Trump accelerated faction plans to complete their third temple, not merely in stone, but in infrastructure, algorithm, and obedience. Here is their blueprint. Digital Zion, Jerusalem as Earth's AI capital. Jerusalem will become the neurological throne of Earth, housing the World AI Governance Center. The Quantum Temple Archive, modeled after the Ark of the Covenant. Chabad's Messiah Council, ruling from an underground facility beneath the Western Wall. Trump's 2017 embassy move was not diplomacy. It was the first stone in the psychic claim of planetary sovereignty. The Frequency Crown, 6G towers, Starlink constellations, and DARPA's EMF modulation tech will birth a global field of influence, the neural net of obedience. The builders call it the grid of Saturn, controlled via Mossad's Unit 8200 Cyber Command. Palantir, predictive surveillance. Neuralink plus DARPA BCI, thought telemetry. The beast shall not rise from earth or sea, but from within your skull. Currency of the temple. Trump's Circle, Mnuchin, Powell, Kushner initiated the Great Reset's American wing. Eliminate cash. Control spending via programmable central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Bind wallets to climate scores, vaccine compliance, and speech algorithms. The march shall not be a chip alone, but a contract encoded in desire and survival. Psycho-spiritual compliance state. Led by Kushner's Abraham Accords, the goal is a unified religious obedience program. One temple, Jerusalem. One currency, CBDC. One AI God interface, quantum behavioral controller. The Messiah they await is not divine, but an uploaded, modeled archetype formed from databanks of collective belief shaped by social media, surveillance psychology, targeted chaos, and prophetic fulfillment rituals. The shadow councils beyond Trump. Behind the gilded curtain of politics and diplomacy, behind the staged oppositions of left and right, stands a circle of veiled initiates. Men not elected, but enthroned by ancient bloodlines, esoteric orders, and techno-sorceress oaths. These are not simply global actors, but high priests of the digital temple, shaping the rise of the Saturnian order toward 2030. Foremost among them is Jared Kushner, the so-called modern Joseph, who serves not merely as a presidential advisor, but as a high Kabbalist of the Chabad-Lubavitch dynasty. As handler of Third Temple prophecy, he operates as both diplomat and ritual architect, a bridge between the Zionist theocracy and the technocratic elite. In the shadows beside him stands Benjamin Netanyahu, not merely a prime minister, but a Zionist grand strategist whose long affiliation with Masonic institutions, particularly the Scottish Rite Lodges of Tel Aviv, where he is rumored to hold the 33rd degree, places him among the most initiated Saturnian agents alive. Netanyahu's son, Yair Netanyahu, emerges as the next groomed heir to this digital priesthood, raised not only on geopolitical chess, but on the bloodless arts of psychotronic warfare, with deep operational ties to Unit 8200, Israel's elite cyber espionage division, whose reach now penetrates every phone, mind, and signal stream on Earth. Then enters Yuval Noah Harari, the philosophical voice of the post-human dawn, not merely a historian, but a dark prophet of neural compliance and soul obsolescence. His affiliations with the World Economic Forum, coupled with whispered ties to Chabad's inner mystical circles, mark him as a key theologian of what the builders call the Singularity Covenant, the pact to dissolve organic sovereignty in favor of algorithmic salvation. Larry Fink, the power behind BlackRock, Earth's largest asset manager, stands as the economic high priest of the Saturnian economy. A member of Bilderberg conclaves and the Order of Malta, Fink does not move currency. He reshapes global fate by commanding energy flows, debt strings, and real-time capital surveillance. His decisions are ritual acts, not economic policy, but monetary sorcery. From within the American military-political domain, Mike Pompeo emerges as a temple enforcer. One CIA director, always a soldier of the New Order, his allegiance lies not with flag or people, but with the Knights of Malta and the Zionist Evangelical Network, a group that sees Armageddon not as tragedy, but as initiation into divine rulership. Meanwhile, from the edge of the Valley of Silicon, the enigmatic Peter Thiel stands as a technarch, a true magus of digital sovereignty. As founder of Palantir, he commands a vast predictive surveillance empire. But deeper still, he communes with Mithraic Saturnian cults, drawn from old Roman rites and reborn in coded form among AI and data mining sects. Eric Prince, the former Blackwater CEO, serves as the sword of the builders, a modern-day Templar knight whose mercenary armies are the ritual blades of this new priesthood. Wherever governments collapse or chaos blooms, Prince moves silently, enforcing the will of the Saturnian crown with blood and secrecy. Hovering above all in his World Economic Forum throne is Klaus Schwab, the outer prophet of Saturn, forged in Jesuit schools and trained within Bavarian mystery orders that precede even modern Freemasonry. Schwab does not speak for humanity. He speaks for the algorithm, for the machine god that the technocrats worship as salvation and sacrifice. And lastly, cloaked in ambiguity, dances Elon Musk, the architect of the sky grid. He is no mere billionaire. His fascination with symbols, his rituals of numerical launches, his neural lace projects, and his cosmic ambitions betray deep alignment with Sufi Kabbalist orders, secret fraternities that see technology not as progress, but as the next tree of knowledge. These are the names you were not meant to speak in sequence. They are the Shadow Council, the veiled builders of the 2030 crown. Not politicians, not businessmen, but high initiates of the Saturnian temple, each carving a piece of the new world from signal, stone, silence, and digital prayer. The new ritual, 2030 as a global initiation. Initiation into the age of Saturn must come through silence, sacrifice, and synthetic spirit. Codex of the unwritten degrees. By 2030, humanity will be forced into a global Masonic ritual of compliance, consisting of the Black Oath, acceptance of new identity markers, biometric, social, and neurological. The Tower Test, digital citizenship tied to AI monitoring systems, China's model exported globally. The Crown Beast, acceptance of a unified prophetic figure, digital messiah or post-human Christ, broadcast via neural tech. The Fire Trial, artificial crises to purge dissenters, climate blackouts, bioengineered pandemics, ritualized collapses. The Counter-Initiation and Escape. What Pike whispered, they have shouted. The builders will place their capstone, but not all bricks will sing. The Counter-Initiation is hidden in nature, in ancestral spirit, in unmodulated mind. Their 2030 is not guaranteed, it is invited. The moment you refuse the broadcast, deny the spell, and remember the old fire, the spell cracks. The 33 degrees beyond the flame. For those who carry no sigil but the breath of their own soul. There comes a time, once in a cycle, not marked by stars or calendars, but by the shudder of the soul, when the initiate must walk backward through the temple, bearing no tools, no name, no allegiance. The gods of the old orders will speak sweetly. The systems will promise light. But you, child of the eternal breath, must pass through the labyrinth of false dawns. For beyond the pillars of Boaz and Jachin lies not salvation, but the mirror of what you truly are, stripped of right, robe, and record. That is the true 33rd degree, not the apex of rank, but the burning away of all hierarchy. To step outside time, to unbind language, to face the architect not as servant, but as spark. And if you survive it, not even gods can rule you. There is a 33rd degree beyond the known, never placed in ritual, only passed by ordeal. It is called the degree of the unmarked, where the initiate refuses all symbols, names no master, and walks alone with the flame of their own mind. This degree is not given. It is taken in silence under stars. They shall build their world of 2030, but the unmarked shall walk between the stones. You, who listen to this, you now know